Good morning. Welcome to Planet Mojo. Today I'll be anchoring the greenhouse with these bullet anchors. What I need to do, hopefully the ground will let me do it, is pound them right in here where I got access, right about there. And then I went and measured on the other shelter. I went up 22 inches. That's because I need to use both a wire and these turnbuckles to fasten down to my to this end of my anchor. I can show you why in the other shelter real quick. So here's what I've done. This is the anchor. This is a real nice Milspec anchor. And what I did was, because these have eye ends, I used a link here. But what I'm going to do on this one is just use a loop like this and just pull it tight. So I have hooks on both ends. Pull the hook, connect it at the top, yank it through, and then tighten it up. Then go onto the turnbuckle and tighten it up the rest of the way. These anchors, once you pound them into the ground, you need to grab a hold of them with something and yank them up, and that sets them. So the distance they yank up, I don't know exactly what's that's going to be. It all depends on the ground, I guess. This is what it turned out to be on these. So you really don't know what this length is going to be, which is why you have this adjustable area here. And then after sitting for a year, this is how loose it is. I still need to get in here and tighten these. Once you get to the end of your turnbuckle, you can loosen these, tighten this, and then, well, you would loosen your turnbuckle, pull this nice and tight, tighten it back up, and then you'll have your full play in the turnbuckle again. So that's about it. This is 22 inches up. So I'm just going to do the same thing over there, and it should work out great. The first thing I'm going to do here is measure up the 22 inches, put a mark there, and then I'm going to pound my anchor. I need enough room for the hammer, so it's probably going to be right about here, but I'm going to try to go kind of straight down from it. Doesn't have to be perfect, but close will do. Well, I almost got one into the ground and the anchor failed. The rod went right through it. Anchor stuck right there, and the rod just went right through it. Yeah, this is a pretty crappy anchor. I guess I would use these in like soft dirt or something, but they're cast aluminum, so they're quite weak. And then you have a metal rod that's way smaller than the hole, so the rod wants to, if it hits any kind of obstacle down there, it's going to punch right through the end of it. It's a pretty shitty design. If these were steel, it would be a different story, but they're aluminum, I guess, for the rust resistance. But for temporary anchors, if this was steel, it'd last as long as you needed it. I mean, galvanized steel would be way better than that. So now I'm screwed. I'm going to have to get some Milspec anchors, like the ones that are on the other shelter. I mean, those punch right through this gravel with no problem. And it's fairly well thought out today, so I mean, there shouldn't be a problem. That should have went right through that, but it didn't. So I guess my next step is to order some Milspec Arrowhead Anchors, which are steel, and their driving rod is way bigger than this little thing. But the problem is, we got rain coming up, we got all kinds of nasty weather coming up, so it could be a couple weeks before I could get the skin on, and I might have to do the anchors in some pretty nasty weather. So what I'll do the rest of today is get the eye bolts on, and then later tonight I'll make them hoops of wire that they're going to connect to, and I'll order the anchors and wait for them to come. Maybe they got rush shipping on them. Damn. Yeah. ShelterLogic is definitely not a high quality company. I mean, they got crappy instructions. These anchors are just a joke. All right, let me get my drill out and switch tack and get these bolts in, and I think I'm going to go order the anchors first, see if I can get them rush shipped. If it's not one thing, it's two. Okay, so what I've done is put some folded up 55-gallon plastic bags in the areas where the anchors are going to go. I ordered a couple sets of Milspec. Well, the company's called Milspec, but I think the anchors are military spec as well. I think they make them for the military. But I ordered them as well. So whenever they come, I'll pound them in. But what I'm going to do is just go ahead and start putting the cover on. I'll get the ends on, and I might only be able to get the ends on today. And then I will run a rope over these side rails down to a bucket of water. That'll be plenty of hold down until tomorrow when I put the top on. Once I do that, then it's pretty damn aerodynamic, and I can put a couple more buckets of water to keep it held down until I can get the anchors in. I can do pretty much any work I need to do from the inside. I can put the bolts on and all that from the inside, so it doesn't pay to waste my time doing that right now. The skin is what needs to get done. Well, the anchor's in the skin, but the anchors are not happening today. Yeah, everybody else is out working, getting stuff done while they can before nasty weather comes back. We got rain and snow in the forecast, so if I can get this thing closed in, I can do everything else I need to do from the inside. Get the bolts on, get the anchors in, blah blah blah. So I'm gonna go get the ends, put the ends on, and maybe the skin today, but tomorrow's actually a bit warmer day, so maybe the skin tomorrow. Okay, I've taken the nut off of this. This is at the end of the hoop in the front. The skin goes around the front and it loops underneath this cross member. Then you put the cross member back on, tighten that up, and then I believe it goes around this one and this one, but not that one. I'll check that in the instructions real quick. But I got everything ready to go. This is pretty easy for one person to do. The skin is a little bit harder, but it's still not impossible. I can kind of lift it up and do it myself, but my wife will probably help. So let's get an end on. Okay, through. Now I just got to get the bolt in. There we go. Now reconnect the pole. The construction crew went out for lunch, so it got quiet. They're in a mad dash to get that house done next door before the weather gets too bad. Okay, here's one of the ratchet straps. There's 8 of them all together. They're all the same. Any one can be used anywhere. These ratchet straps hook into these, and then you put the webbing through it and ratchet it just like cargo straps for ratcheting stuff down on your vehicle. Pretty simple. Yeah, the ends definitely wrap around and come onto the inside, and then the skin covers the ends, so makes sense that these go on the inside. Okay, get her started. And go start on the other side. Hands don't work as good as they should in this cold, but it's not too bad today. Yeah, I got a lot more string on this side, or webbing, but it's not really going to matter. Okay, now you can see that the web or webbing goes through from one side to the other, and now what you need to do is just tighten it up so it pulls around this pole. Okay, I got the ends up, but I don't know what to think about this thing. The bottom of this on the other shelter, it has a rod that goes all the way through, and then you roll it up to open it. The rod weights it down. This doesn't have a rod. It has the pocket on the bottom, but it does not come with a rod that I can tell. These rods here are for the sides. The sides roll up a little bit, so it has a rod that goes the length of the side, and that gives it a little bit of weight so that you can roll it up, just like I mentioned for the front on the other shelter. So it looks like, I don't know, I might have to go out and buy some pipe, maybe some heavy electrical pipe, and possibly pin it at both ends, pin it to the ground, something so it doesn't flop around like this. I mean, look at how far that goes. That's pretty much unacceptable. Oh, jeez. No end to the problems with this damn thing. So, I'm not real sure if I should get the cover on today or not. My wife just took off to go to a dental cleaning, and my daughter won't be off of school for, many hours. She has weightlifting today. Or not weightlifting, what the hell is that? She just works out, getting ready for track this spring. She might do a little weightlifting, but it's mostly leg stuff. Okay, so where do we go from here? If I start it and get into a jam, because it is breezy, I can get a bunch of wood clamps and kind of clamp it as I go to give me an extra hand. Oh, I just don't know. Well, let me figure that out. Okay, what I'm going to do is take these steel pipes from an old kennel that we had. I'm going to slide them through. Oh, they'll probably get it right to the middle of there and slide the other one through that way. That'll give it some weight. I may even pin it to the ground, I'm not sure. Just to keep it from blowing all over the damn place tonight. Do that with both ends. And then I think I'm going to leave this until tomorrow, because putting these things in takes a long time. And it's already getting kind of late today. And it'll be dark. I'll be working in the dark out here, and I'd rather not. So let me get those in, and then actually I will add some weight to these right away. Throw a bucket in like 4 places and fill them with water. That should give me all the weight I need, and that should keep these from blowing around too much, and that should hold things until tomorrow. Okay, I slid these poles in. Wasn't too easy, but it's stopping it from blowing around too much. Not as much as I'd like. I'm really not happy with this design. I don't know why the hell they don't have something for that. I mean, this should be right here at the bottom, should be affixed to the ground somehow. I mean, why the hell would they leave it like this so that it blows around? I don't know. These definitely don't go in there. Those go on the sides of the side, or on the ends of the side. You can see them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then a short piece. There's 2 short ones. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Dozen long ones. So there is no poles for the front and back end panels. So you got to figure something out yourself, I guess. That really blows. I think something like this will work, though. I'll have to, if I just do the 2 sides, yeah, do the 2 sides, have it stick out a little bit, drill a hole through it, and spike it to the ground. Well, that's pretty jacked up. I'll have to do something, though. It can't do this crap. It'll just destroy itself. Alright, I'm going to go slide these in on the other side, and we'll get the cover on it tomorrow. That'll do it for today. What a very unproductive day. At least I got the cat some drinking water for a little while. That'll freeze pretty soon. I'm not real happy with the design of this front. I'm going to have to go look and see what people do with it. But that's the only thing I can think of, is putting a bar that stops right at the door and then pinning that to the ground somehow, and then leaving it long on this end and pin it over there to keep this wall straight. And then the door, just a shorter piece that fits it exactly, and possibly fill it with sand, because that's what they actually do with the other doors. That's what ShelterLogic recommends. But I don't know how much I trust ShelterLogic. There's some pretty poor design work here. But anyway, I got these T-post buckets sitting right on the feet. This is not going to go anywhere. I'm going to open this vent as well. I have this one opened. I have 4 buckets of water keeping this side from blowing all around. When they flap around like that, it ends up ripping the fabric in a short while, so I don't really want that happening. I'm not really sure how I'm going to do this for the winter. I might just pinch this end between two 2x6s or something and throw some screws through it, you know, on the bottom where it's not gonna hurt anything, and you know, just give it enough weight so that it doesn't flop around. This side, on the other hand, I got to get in and out, but I could just slide through one of the zippers and do the same thing. Put a 2x6 on both sides and then throw screws through it at the bottom. Take these pipes out. But then it might, you know, well, actually I could put a screw through right by through the door opening as well, one on either side, and that would help it from sliding out of it. Oh, I don't know. That's a lot to go through for, you know, what's basically a design flaw. Holy shit, that sucks. But anyways, the anchors, in the end, I guess it's not going to matter too much. Yeah, I was talking to my wife about that, and it's like, why in the hell did they make the end of the anchor out of cast aluminum instead of galvanized steel? Galvanized steel is less expensive, and the anchor is only as good as the cable. The cable here is galvanized steel. Having an aluminum anchor that'll last basically forever underground is no good when the cable rusts out, you know, in 5-8 years. So why the hell have an aluminum, flimsy aluminum point on there to start with? This doesn't make any damn sense. So the Milspec steel 3-inch Arrowhead anchors are on their way, and I'll be doing them from inside the shelter. My wife and I will put the skin on tomorrow, and then from inside here I'll get all these rods in and all that other stuff. It'll be fairly comfortable in here then, and that will continue to thaw the ground for the anchors. If the ground wasn't frozen, those anchors probably would have made it into normal ground, but I'm not sure if they could even make it through just regular unfrozen gravel like this. They're awful damn flimsy. But at any rate, that's it for today. I'll tackle this thing first thing in the morning and get her done. If you like the videos, please subscribe to the channel. Click on the update icon and you'll receive notice when we post new videos. Thanks for watching, and have yourself a great day.